delegation from Birmingham Airport have been in Parliament today trying to convince MPs that the expansion of regional airports is the way ahead. They argued that a third runway at Heathrow would only go a very small way to meeting the extra passenger capacity needed by 2050. Well, joining us in London is John Morris from Birmingham Airport. John, how did it go today?
Very well. I think people are very open to the argument that we put across, which is that we've already got capacity. We've got an airport doing about 9 million passengers a year, and we could double that to 18 straight away, such as the investment that's been put in. And very quickly we could go to 36 million passengers a year using the existing runway. So we've got a great facility, and we believe it's part of the solution to the aviation capacity crunch.
You have, as you say, already started construction of the runway extension at Birmingham. Why would further expansion be such a good idea? I mean, environmental lobbyists and some of the residents might say that it's not such a good idea.
Well, you know, you raise a really important point, because this isn't about further expansion, it's about using what we've got to better ability. So at the moment we've got an airport that does about 9 million passengers a year. That could double straight away with the processing that we've already got, if you like, the check-ins and everything else. But without building any more runway capacity, we know we could go to 36 million. And environmentally, is it not better to use what you've got rather than to build new?
Talking about maximising your assets, you've actually started advertising a Birmingham Airport in London now, in the Underground, haven't you? Has that had any impact yet?
Yes, well, people recognise that it really is an option for them, because if you live in North London, then you will find that you can get to our check-in desks much quicker in some cases than you can to Heathrow's. So we all have a part to play in the aviation debate, but we believe that we need to have a rather more grown-up debate than there has been until now. We need to have a sensible debate about a balanced aviation strategy that doesn't force everyone to travel to the southeast, when frankly they don't want to travel to the southeast. They quite often want to travel point to point from their own regional airport.
John Morris, thank you very much.
Well, joining us in the studio now is Joe Peacock from Friends of the Earth. Thanks for coming in, Mr. Peacock. Surely the idea of balancing air traffic out around the country is a pretty good idea.
Well, possibly, but the kind of numbers that they're talking about are completely unrealistic for aviation. There's no way that we can have that amount of unconstrained growth in the aviation sector. Well, the UK has a legally binding Climate Change Act, which says that we need to cut carbon dioxide emissions by 80% by 2050. So if aviation is going to grow by 116 million passengers, which I think is what the airport is talking about, that's based on the 2003 white paper on aviation, which has been completely discredited now. And the courts have said that that can no longer be an applicable document when the Climate Change Act has been...
Birmingham Airport's already got ambitious plans underway at the moment. As you know, they're creating thousands of jobs and going to increase, boost the economy, should I say, around here. I mean, that must be fantastic for the region.
Well, we would actually disagree with the fact that they are going to boost the number of jobs in the region. All the figures show that there's a massive tourism deficit from aviation everywhere in the country apart from the southeast. And, you know,
what do you mean by that exactly?
That means that people flying out of the airport spend a lot more money abroad than people who fly into the airport. So, sorry, I should explain those terms. So, you know, it's over £2 billion a year that we're losing from the economy by people flying out from the airport, and likewise, business people flying out from the Midlands spend more money abroad.
Briefly then, are you saying you don't believe that they should sort of spread from Heathrow, for instance, to all the regional hubs?
We're saying that the UK needs to look very carefully at its aviation strategy and balance the environmental needs to cut carbon emissions with the needs for some people to fly. We don't say that nobody will ever be able to fly. Obviously, that's not realistic. Okay. But we need to constrain the amount of aviation there is if there's any hope for the environment, really.
Joe Peacock, thank you very much indeed.